It is 11:30 at night, Sunday, and today we just lost to Wolves 2-1 in what for me is a disappointing performance. In my preview that I uploaded a couple of days ago, I talked about how I predicted this game was going to be 2-1. I said that we needed change. I said that I didn't want to see Willian in the starting 11. And unfortunately, none of those happened. We didn't see change. We did see Willian in the starting 11. Yes, Saka was healthy, which was great to see. We did see Reece Nelson. However, he came on as a sub, which is a bit frustrating because I thought overall he had a decent-ish game. So did the likes of a lot of the other young gunners, the likes of Willock and Saka. But overall, as a fan, I'm so surprised to see what happened in today's game. Poor defensively, midfield just meh, and an attack that's just non-existent. I mean, again, the same things that I'm coming up or saying every single fucking week when it comes to Arsenal. And this time, I gotta say it's at the feet of ARTETA. I talked about the threat of Traore, of Jimenez. I mean, the game starts off with Jimenez getting injured, which, you know what, I do have to say that I hope he had a really bad injury, whereby he got sent to hospital, and I hope he's okay. But nevertheless, it meant that Arsenal didn't have to worry about a Raul Jimenez, who was always going to be a problem. But Wolves, they had somebody else. They had an 18-year-old that came on and had a pretty good game. And we made him have a pretty good game. By the way how we defended, the way how our midfield was. But it all comes down to Arteta and the players that he's chosen. The team, the way in which he set that up. I said from my preview, Ainsley, Maitland-Niles must start to deal specifically with Traore. Traore is an absolute monster on that right wing. He is someone that if you aren't athletic enough, you are not going to be able to deal with Traore. And that Tierney would get punished because of what happened the last time we faced Wolves. He got punished. Not because Tierney is a bad player, but because Traore is just that good. Traore's strengths of all of Tierney's weaknesses. Tierney cannot deal with the physicality. Too much physicality. Traore is built like an NFL running back. He's got everything. Muscle, pace, and power. It got so bad that Gabriel, our centre-back, had to go and mark Traore in order to help Tierney out. When I said at the beginning that we had to play Ainsley Maitland-Niles in this starting 11, not just to help out at fullback, but also to help out in the midfield, which I knew was going to be a problem. I knew we were probably going to go with Ceballos and Granit Xhaka, who for me just weren't really good enough. But we did not see the change. I mean, what makes it worse is that Ainsley Maitland-Niles wasn't even on the fucking bench. Not on the bench. And again, it's another situation whereby I am having to ask myself, why is Mikel Arteta like leaving players out or not putting players in that we need? Ainsley Maitland-Niles in the last game against Wolves was brilliant. And even if you don't think that he would have done the same, just as good of a job, at the very least you have him on the bench. Come on, like it's almost common sense. But nevertheless, he doesn't do so. He chooses to have Eddie Nketiah and Lacazette, 2 strikers. We only need 1. We play with 1 striker. I thought, you know what? Like, the only reason why you would have Eddie is unless Willian wasn't even in the squad. He was injured, but Willian starts. Willian's there. There's no there's no need. Like, you're not going to take off both wingers. At most, you might take off one. Mikel Arteta is going to... He's in problems. He is in problems. And to everyone that's watching this video, which will probably be sometime on Monday or late Sunday, depending on the time zone that you're in, you must be thinking, and you're probably asking yourself the question, is Arteta the right man for the job? Now, I'm pretty positive. I always like to find the good in people. And I don't believe that we are that far yet gone to whereby we could say he has to go. But like Unai Emery was in the same position, you need to make changes, and fundamental changes, not these Europa League changes. I expect the kiddies to start in the Europa League. We've qualified. I think if we get one more win, we will definitely finish top of the group. So for the most part, for me, like, there's nothing else. Like, I mean, we shouldn't even worry about the Europa League, to be really honest, anymore. It's done. But the next game coming up against Spurs, we have to come correct. I've seen the thumbnail titles on AFTV and their videos, and fans are pissed. Even more than me. Fans are ready for Arteta to go. I do think we need to calm down though. But I do agree that changes need to happen. That we need to say, hey, Mikel, what the hell? Because what I saw today, even though I think that the performance was not great, and even though some of the young players played well for the situation, it all comes down to the players that you have on the pitch, the formations and tactics, and the personnel. And I think that there's enough personnel that are in this club right now that you can be able to get a tune out of them. For sure. I 100% believe that. You play Ainsley Maitland-Niles at left wing back, or if you want to play 4 at the back, he plays at left back in order to deal with Traore. Midfield, you do not play Granit Xhaka. When you have a guy like Traore who is speed and strength, and I watched Traore out-muscle Tierney in midfield, and then out-muscle Granit Xhaka to then have a through ball pass that led to the second goal by Wolves. You play somebody else in midfield, or a player that could do a job in midfield, that's a defensive midfielder. I know everybody's thinking about, what about Guendouzi, what about Torreira, but they're not here right now. So you need to play someone that's a DM. You have El Nene who was on the bench, you could have played him. I heard Callum Chambers is starting up again. You know he could play as a DM. That could be an alternative out there. Like, I'm so desperate for some type of change. I would even be willing to play Aziz, who is in our, I think, under 23s in that midfield. That's where I am in terms of desperation for my club to do better. It's been a shit performance, people. Leave your comments below on what you think about Mikel Arteta, but for me, he needs to make changes. We got Spurs next week, and like every single Arsenal fan, that's a true Arsenal fan that loves the badge. We want the win. We're desperate for the win. We're desperate for the win even more now because we've had such a bad run of form against a Spurs side that they don't concede a lot of goals, and I think they're top of the table. And you know they have been saving Gareth Bale and Son and Harry Kane, that front three, for this game. And I expect Spurs to bring everything that they possibly have against us. The question is, what is Mikel Arteta going to do? Now, I'm going to put out my preview for the game. There's going to be more injuries coming up, updates on injuries of players coming back. We've obviously know Callum Chambers has been training with the under-23s. He might be an option. Pablo Mari has started training again. Martinelli has started training again. So a lot of things could happen over the next 6 days, and who we play in that game can change a lot. So I want to say it's early days, but disappointing performance. We're now 14th in the league. Things are not great. We've got lots of time to improve, which is a positive, but things aren't great at the moment. So right now, I'll leave it up to you guys. Leave your comments below. What did you think of the game? This is probably the first game that I get. I mean, we've had some losses this season, but I'm actually quite disappointed in this one, even more so. This was a chance for us to get the wheels going, and we just haven't. So leave your comments below. Give me your thoughts on how you thought the game went. How long do you think Mikel Arteta has? Do you think we could turn it around? And do you think we could turn it around under Mikel Arteta? Leave your comments below. Please remember to like and subscribe. It does help the channel out. And I will see you all next time. Peace.